So this offseason, I was very pleased. We had a lot of guys that played double sports, so I was, I'm always want to push for that, and I was very excited. And you're gonna tell some of the dividends that it worked out with, especially with the kids that ran track and that wrestled. So again, I'm very pleased that we had some kids that did that this year. And then our kids that kind of focused on football, they focused on football, and it was in the weight room. We had high numbers. The kids were excited, and it wasn't nothing that it wasn't like tasking for the kids to come in. They came in and they worked and they got things done. Well, I told the kids already at the beginning of the day that we have high expectations compared to what we did last year. And we had high expectations last year, but again, this year it is something that we actually been preaching, and we know that the kids and we as a staff know that we have something that we have to actually kind of meet this year as a goal. So we talked to the kids earlier today, and we made sure that we know that we're all on the same page. They're going to get coached at a high level, and we want them to perform at a high level. I think they took it well. Again, for the most part, like I told them, they need to kind of hold each other accountable, because again, that's one of the things that a lot of teenagers don't do this day and age. So we got some leaders that are stepping up and make sure that these kids are holding each other accountable. Because again, at the end of the day, the coach is going to coach. The coaches know what's going on, but when your peers telling you that this thing needs to be done, then it means more. Especially coming from someone that's on the same path as you are. For me, landing expectations are very high. I'm very excited about what this kid can do, and I'm very happy to kind of showcase what he's going to do this year. Excited to see him get out there and spin the ball around. Again, we did some stuff in the spring that kind of surprised some people, and again, that was very encouraging for us and for the players as well to know that this is something that we can do. And like for him, I think it's going to be a great, and kind of like standout year for him. Yeah, for him, he's a very humble guy. Again, like talking to him, he's always very even keeled. Like, I mean, the one time I saw him get excited, it was so funny. Like it was in the 7-on-7, and again, most time he's kind of like even keeled, but he was very emotional in a certain play in which, it was a play that we needed to win the game. And again, to see him excited, and that it's kind of one of those things like it made me happy for him, because this guy's always kind of been grinding, keeping his head down. Not necessarily a guy that wants the spotlight, but he can't handle the spotlight. Very meek in what he does as far as like his personality. But again, like as far as being out here, he is a leader. He does take charge. He does command the kids. The kids have respect for him, and he has respect for the kids too. So again, he's one of those guys that leads by example, and by encouraging as well. We have a couple of guys that stand out offensively. Mainly, our two guys that are really good standouts are Antonio Turner and Landon Hicks. Those guys did great during our 7-on-7 season. Again, Antonio Turner mainly played like defense last year, but this year he made a lot of great plays for us on offense. And again, he probably utilized more on offense than he normally has been. We have a couple other guys, of course. Jaden Ballard. Again, he just committed Buffalo again for defense, but again, he's a good offensive weapon. And then we have Justin Fabian, quick guy. Again, like I said, you get him, he's going to be out there to make some plays. This guy can make something happen when the ball's in his hand. So I'm excited to see what these guys do this year. Well, honestly, last year I didn't have any control of either of the coordination spots. There was led by Kevin Connor. Again, I just actually assisted him, to be honest. So again, like I said, I was the safeties coach for him last year. So again, with him coming back, and we have majority of our kids coming back. I think we have 9 out of the 11 that are returning and playing. So I think the defense is going to be kind of really good, because they gelled very well at the last few games. Like I said, those last 4, it was a totally different defense than what we started with. So, and I think the kids got the feel and know what they need to do throughout the season. So with a lot of those guys coming back, I think we're going to be pretty good. Mainly is just kind of being in charge of like everything. At one point, you're just in charge of making sure the schemes and everything's fit, but then you got to be in charge of like parent stuff, kid stuff, offense, defense, everything that's kind of one big umbrella. And it sounds like something that you should know, but then it's not the same until you get into it and find out that it is a very tasking job. And it takes some hours to make sure you are prepared for every week. This group is hungry. Like again, it is the age of social media and things like that. Everybody's going to be excited and kind of showcase what they have. So it's just they just want to be able to show off what they can do.